guys, it's only me again. It is Andrew, and today we're going to tackle that horrible thing that we all have to do, and that's the updates on the site. Now, I recommend that you do this. Many reasons why. One of the main ones is when you upgrade, you are protecting yourself against potential vulnerabilities out there. It's not done just to be awkward. There are reasons why, and also if WordPress changes, your plugins have to be updated so they can then reflect these changes. So the first off thing that you must always do before you ever work structurally on the WordPress is to basically take a backup. If you don't, you're gonna have a bad time. Now the one I use, and I stress, I'm not endorsed by any company. I'm making these, off my own back, these videos. I'm not getting paid for it. The one I use is all-in-one WP migration. Now, I have found this to be one of the best out there, and I find it very easy and straightforward, and I also give it to customers so they can do their backups as well. Now, I run backups, but it's good that they have their own backup. The other great thing as well with this one is if they ever wanted to move to another provider or move to me, then they can just install WordPress, install that plugin, and import the backup, and hey presto, all sorted. So, without further ado, all we would do is hover over all-in-one WP migration. To back it up, we would click export, and then you click on export to, and in this case we want a file, but you have sort of several other options down here as well. So if we select file, and now this might take us a short time. There we go. Some sites it will take longer depending on how big the site is. Now in this case the site isn't very big, it's just an empty WordPress which we're using for training. When you're happy, you just click on download, and then it will download in the bottom, which I did actually a little bit earlier just to speed things up. Right, now but you'll see when you've got updates, because it will say it near the top by the dashboard, but it also says plugins. So if we go into there we go. There's a new version of Ask-A-Met Anti-Spam available. So all we would do is click on it, and I recommend you only do one plugin at a time. Okay? If you go tick, 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 tick down and do lots at once, you're not necessarily going to know if your site breaks what has broken it. Whereas if we do one at a time, you can do the first one. So in this case we'll do Ask-A-Met. Then we can visit the site, make sure everything is working correctly before we move on to the next one. Okay, in the event you do break the site, do not panic, okay? It's possible that the plugin isn't compatible with your version of WordPress. What you do in that case is you can either FTP into your web space and go to the plugins directory underneath WP-content. There you can rename that plugin that you're upgrading. Okay, so if you just click on it, rename it to something different, and then go back to your browser, refresh the page, and you should see your site will appear just without that plugin working. Alternatively, you can do it via your control panel. Chances are with most control panels now they actually have like a file manager. You can go in and do these changes. Okay, so do not panic. Worst case, you have to reinstall WordPress, install all-in-one WP migration, and instead of exporting the site, you import it, and then you'll be back to where you started. Okay, so don't panic. Just make sure you always do a backup first. So in this case, we're going to click on there, tick that. In the drop-down box, we're going to click Update and Apply. And that goes off, and that does its magic. There we go. That's all updated. So as you can see, there's not a lot to it. Golden rule: always take a backup of your site first. And if it goes wrong, that plugin, when you do one at a time, all you have to do is simply go in via either FTP or your control panel's file manager and rename that plugin that broke. And then go back to your browser and press refresh. Okay, now if you get any problems, you've got any questions, leave a message below. If you want to be kept up to date with all the great videos that I'm going to be producing over the coming time, simply subscribe and even hit the little bell to be notified when I upload. But if you get any problems, contact me. Happy to help. Okay guys, take care. Bye.